First contact gone wrong. The UES Harmony drifted through the vastness of space, its diplomatic mission representing humanity's greatest hope for peaceful integration into the galactic community. Ambassador Sarah Chen stood on the bridge, her hands clasped behind her back, as she watched the massive alien station grow larger in the viewport. After decades of searching the stars, humanity had finally received an invitation to meet with the Galactic Hegemony, a coalition of advanced species that govern much of known space. Ambassador, we're receiving docking instructions, Lieutenant Marcus Rodriguez announced from his station. The excitement in his voice was barely contained. This was history in the making. Sarah nodded, smoothing her formal uniform. Proceed with docking procedures. Remember, everyone, we represent all of humanity today. Let's make our species proud. The Harmony glided into the designated bay, dwarfed by the alien architecture surrounding them. As the airlock cycled, Sarah took a deep breath. The delegation of 12 humans stepped forward into a vast chamber where representatives from 5 alien species awaited them. The lead alien, a tall being with crystalline skin that refracted light into rainbow patterns, stepped forward. Its voice emerged as a series of harmonics that their translators converted to speech. I am Prime Coordinator Zixthor of the Crystalline Dominion. We welcome the humans to this gathering. The pause before humans carried a weight that Sarah didn't miss. She bowed respectfully. Thank you for receiving us. Humanity is honored to. Please, another alien interrupted, this one resembling a mass of writhing tentacles with bioluminescent patterns. Let us dispense with pleasantries. We have reviewed your technological capabilities. A holographic display materialized in the center of the chamber, showing Earth and various human achievements. The aliens began pointing out what they considered primitive aspects of human civilization. Your fastest ships barely achieve 10% light speed, scoffed a reptilian delegate. Your energy production relies on fusion. Technology we abandoned millennia ago, added the tentacled being. Your defensive capabilities. The crystalline leader actually laughed, a sound like breaking glass. You still use kinetic weapons and nuclear devices. How quaint. Sarah felt her jaw tighten, but maintained her diplomatic composure. We acknowledge we have much to learn. That's why we seek peaceful relations and cultural exchange. The aliens exchanged glances that needed no translation. They were amused by human naivety. Cultural exchange. Zixthor's form seemed to shimmer with condescension. What could your species possibly offer us? Your art is primitive, your science is centuries behind, and your philosophy, well, it's barely worth mentioning. The humiliation continued for hours. The aliens demonstrated technologies that made human achievements look like children's toys. They showed weapons that could destroy planets, ships that could traverse galaxies in days, and medical technology that granted virtual immortality. You see, Zixthor explained with mock patience, the galactic hegemony has standards. Member species must contribute meaningfully to our collective advancement. Humanity simply doesn't qualify. But we can learn, Sarah protested, given time and cooperation. Time. The tentacled alien's patterns flashed in what seemed like laughter. The universe doesn't wait for the slow to catch up. Your species is too primitive, too violent, too limited. The final insult came when they displayed a galactic map. Earth was marked with a symbol that their translator struggled with before settling on quarantine zone. For your own protection, Zixthor explained. And ours. Your species will remain confined to your solar system until you either evolve sufficiently or, more likely, destroy yourselves. This is the judgment of the hegemony. As the human delegation was escorted back to their ship, Sarah noticed Lieutenant Rodriguez discreetly activating a hidden device on his wrist. She gave him an almost imperceptible nod. Back aboard the Harmony, the mood was somber until they cleared the station's scanning range. Then Sarah turned to her crew with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Send the Prometheus Protocol activation code, she ordered. Classification: Omega Black. Rodriguez's fingers flew over his console. Message sent, Ambassador. Earth will receive it in approximately 4 hours via quantum entanglement. Sarah walked to the viewport, watching the alien station recede. They think we're primitive because we showed them what we wanted them to see. They think we're weak because we chose to appear that way. Should we tell them about the fleet? Asked Dr. Emily Watson, the mission's scientific advisor. No, Sarah replied. Let them believe their own arrogance. They mock us for using fusion power, unaware that we mastered zero-point energy a decade ago. They laugh at our kinetic weapons, not realizing we kept our graviton cannons and dimensional shears hidden. They call us primitive while we've been mapping the quantum underlayer of reality itself. The bridge fell silent as the crew contemplated what was coming. For 50 years, Sarah continued, we've been preparing. Every piece of primitive technology we showed them was carefully chosen to create an image of weakness. Every ship they've detected was intentionally obsolete. Every broadcast they've intercepted was designed to paint us as struggling newcomers to space. She turned to face her crew. They invited us here to humiliate us, to put us in our place. They've judged humanity unworthy without truly knowing us. Now they'll learn why that was the greatest mistake in their long, arrogant history. Deep in the Oort cloud, far beyond the detection range of any known sensors, hundreds of ships powered up for the first time in decades. These weren't the clumsy, slow vessels the aliens had cataloged. These were humanity's true achievements, sleek predators built with technologies that would make the hegemony's greatest minds question their understanding of physics. The fleet of retribution was awakening, and with it, humanity would teach the galaxy an unforgettable lesson about underestimating the children of Earth. The hegemony had mocked humanity's apparent weakness, but they were about to discover that humans had mastered the art of war not through superior firepower, but through superior strategy. And the greatest strategy of all was letting your enemy believe they had already won. As the Harmony continued its journey home, Sarah Chen allowed herself a cold smile. The aliens thought they had judged humanity. In truth, humanity had been judging them, and they had been found wanting in wisdom, humility, and respect. Soon, very soon, they would learn the price of their arrogance, the silent preparation. The quantum-encrypted message reached Earth in a burst of entangled particles, bypassing all conventional detection methods. Deep beneath the surface of the Moon, in a facility that officially didn't exist, the United Earth Council convened within minutes of receiving Ambassador Chen's transmission. General Alexandra Morrison, commander of Earth's Deep Space Defense Force, stood before the assembled leaders. Her silver hair and cybernetic eye gave her an imposing presence, but it was her reputation that commanded true respect. She had overseen humanity's secret military buildup for 3 decades. The hegemony has made their position clear, she began, displaying the humiliating footage from the diplomatic meeting. They've declared us unworthy and established a quarantine. What they don't know is that we've been preparing for this exact scenario. President Elena Kovic of the United Earth government leaned forward. Activate Project Prometheus. Morrison nodded. It's time. For 50 years, we've hidden our true capabilities. We've let them see outdated fusion reactors while our cities run on zero-point energy. We've shown them chemical rockets while our real fleet uses quantum displacement drives. They've monitored our primitive communications, unaware that our quantum networks operate in dimensional frequencies they can't even detect. The holographic display shifted to show Earth's true military assets, ships that defied conventional physics, weapons that manipulated fundamental forces, and defensive systems that could bend spacetime itself. Our fleet isn't just advanced, Morrison continued. It's designed specifically to counter everything we've learned about hegemony technology. While they rely on energy shields, our graviton lenses bypass them entirely. Their sensors scan normal space, but our ships can phase shift into parallel dimensional layers. Dr. James Chen, head of Advanced Research Division, and Sarah's brother, stepped forward. We've also completed the psychological warfare protocols. The hegemony species are all apex predators in their evolutionary history. They respect strength, but more importantly, they fear the unknown. We're going to give them both. The Council reviewed the battle plans. Unlike the hegemony's straightforward displays of power, human strategy involved misdirection, adaptation, and calculated psychological impact. Phase 1, Morrison explained, involves the activation of our deep space fleet, 800 vessels, each equipped with technology that will seem impossible to the hegemony. Will emerge from dark space simultaneously at key points throughout their territory. The display showed strategic positions across the galaxy lighting up. Phase 2 is about demonstration. We won't attack immediately. Instead, we'll show them capabilities that challenge their understanding of physics. Ships appearing and disappearing, weapons that affect probability rather than matter, communications that predict their responses before they make them. Admiral Yuki Tanaka, commander of the First Fleet, added, "We've studied their reaction patterns. The moment they realize we've been hiding our true capabilities, their confidence will shatter. Apex predators don't handle paradigm shifts well." And Phase 3, President Kovac asked. Morrison's expression hardened. "We give them a choice. Acknowledge humanity as equals and end the quarantine, or face the consequences of their arrogance." In the following weeks, Earth's preparation intensified. The hidden shipyards in the asteroid belt went into overdrive. Training simulations ran continuously, with crews practicing not just combat maneuvers but psychological warfare tactics. The real genius of human preparation lay in understanding alien psychology. While the hegemony species had evolved as dominant predators, humans had evolved as persistence hunters and social collaborators. The aliens expected direct confrontation. Humans planned to deliver confusion, uncertainty, and fear. Captain David Reynolds stood on the bridge of the EDS Nemesis, flagship of the Ghost Fleet. His ship was a masterpiece of human engineering, capable of manipulating quantum fields to achieve near-instantaneous travel, armed with weapons that targeted the fundamental forces of nature, and equipped with AI systems that could predict enemy actions with uncanny accuracy. "All systems nominal," his first officer reported. "The quantum displacement drive is stable, graviton lances charge, and probability shields active." Reynolds nodded, looking at the star map showing their target, the hegemony's primary military installation. "Remember, our goal isn't destruction. It's demonstration. We need to show them that everything they thought they knew about us was wrong." Across human space, similar scenes played out on hundreds of ships. Each crew understood their role in the grand strategy. Some would appear in impossible locations, others would demonstrate weapons that defied physics, and still others would infiltrate hegemony systems without being detected until they chose to reveal themselves. The aliens had no idea what was coming. Their sensors, designed to detect conventional threats, couldn't perceive the quantum signatures of human ships. Their intelligence networks, focused on observable technology, had missed the decades of secret development happening in shielded facilities. Most importantly, their arrogance had blinded them to the possibility that a primitive species could be playing a deeper game. 6 weeks after the humiliating first contact, the first signs appeared. Hegemony monitoring stations began reporting anomalies, ghost signals that appeared and vanished, energy readings that made no sense, and spatial distortions that their scientists couldn't explain. Prime Coordinator Zix Thor dismissed the reports initially. "Sensor malfunctions," he declared. "Perhaps some natural phenomenon we haven't cataloged." But as the anomalies increased, unease spread through the hegemony leadership. Something was happening, something their vast knowledge couldn't explain. Then came the message, broadcast simultaneously to every hegemony world. "You judged us without knowing us. You mocked us without understanding us. Now you will learn why humanity survived and thrived on a death world, why we reached the stars despite our limitations, and why underestimating us was your greatest mistake." The transmission ended with coordinates and a time, a clear challenge that the hegemony couldn't ignore. In the depths of space, the fleet of Retribution finished its final preparations. 800 ships, each a testament to human ingenuity and determination, waited for the signal to emerge from the shadows. The hegemony had asked what humanity could offer. They were about to receive their answer, and it would reshape the galaxy forever. The fleet of Retribution. At precisely 800 Earth Standard Time, reality itself seemed to tear apart at 800 points across hegemony space. Ships materialized from quantum foam, their hulls gleaming with impossible geometries that hurt the eyes to look upon directly. The fleet of Retribution had arrived. On the bridge of the hegemony's flagship, Prime Coordinator Zixthor watched in disbelief as his tactical displays filled with contacts. "This is impossible," he muttered, his crystalline form flickering with agitation. "Their technology, it doesn't exist." The human ships didn't attack immediately. Instead, they performed maneuvers that defied physics as the hegemony understood it. Ships phase shifted through solid matter, appeared in multiple locations simultaneously, and generated energy signatures that registered as both infinite and zero. Admiral Morrison's voice broadcast across all hegemony channels. "Attention Galactic Hegemony. I am Admiral Alexandra Morrison of Earth's Deep Space Defense Force. You invited us to demonstrate our worthiness. We accept your invitation." What followed was not a battle, but a masterclass in psychological warfare. The human ships demonstrated capabilities that shattered hegemony assumptions. The EVS paradox fired a single shot that existed in multiple timelines simultaneously, striking its target before the weapon was fired. The EDS quantum wraith passed through a hegemony battleship, temporarily shifting both vessels into a parallel dimension, where the laws of physics operated differently. The EDS singularity generated a controlled micro-black hole, using it not as a weapon, but as a power source that violated conservation of energy. The hegemony's vaunted energy shields proved useless against graviton lances that manipulated space-time itself. Their advanced sensors couldn't track ships that existed partially out of phase with normal reality. Their weapons, designed to overwhelm conventional defenses, simply passed through probability shields that made successful hits statistically impossible. But the true genius of the human strategy lay in its restraint. Not a single hegemony life was taken. Every demonstration was precisely calculated to disable, confuse, and intimidate without causing casualties. Captain Reynolds of the Nemesis executed the piece de resistance. His ship quantum tunneled directly into the heart of the hegemony's most secure military installation, appearing in what should have been impossible coordinates. The message was clear: nowhere was safe from human technology. Prime Coordinator Reynolds broadcast directly to Zixthor. "We could have destroyed your fleets, invaded your worlds, and brought your civilization to its knees. Instead, we chose to educate you." The psychological impact was devastating. Hegemony species, evolved as apex predators, understood strength and dominance, but humans had shown them something far more terrifying: control, restraint, and a level of technological sophistication that rendered their own achievements obsolete. As reports flooded in from across their territory, the hegemony leadership realized the full scope of their miscalculation. The humans hadn't just hidden advanced technology. They had developed sciences that the hegemony hadn't even conceived of. How? Zixthor demanded during an emergency council session. How did they advance so quickly? The answer came from an unexpected source. Dr. Sarah Chen, now revealed as both diplomat and strategic deception specialist, appeared via quantum communication in the council chamber. "You assumed our visible technology represented our capabilities," she explained. "But humans excel at adaptation and innovation under pressure. While you developed in stable environments with abundant resources, we evolved on a world that constantly tried to kill us. We learned to hide our strengths, to appear weaker than we are, to turn disadvantages into advantages." She gestured, and displays showed Earth's true history of technological development. "For every innovation you saw, we developed 10 you didn't. For every ship you detected, we built 100 you couldn't find. Your mistake wasn't underestimating our technology. It was underestimating our nature. The final phase of humanity's plan unfolded with precise choreography. Human ships took defensive positions around key hegemony worlds, not as conquerors but as protectors. The message was subtle but clear. Humanity could have destroyed them, but chose protection instead. Admiral Morrison delivered humanity's terms. The quarantine of Earth is lifted immediately. Humanity will be recognized as a full member of the galactic community, with all rights and responsibilities that entails. In return, we will share some of our technologies and help defend against common threats. The hegemony had no choice but to accept. Their military leadership recognized that resistance was futile against an enemy that had surpassed them so completely. More importantly, their philosophical foundations had been shaken. The idea that a primitive species could develop such advanced technology in secret challenged their entire worldview. The aftermath reshaped galactic politics. Other species, previously dismissed by the hegemony, began revealing their own hidden capabilities. The galaxy discovered that many civilizations have been playing the same game as humanity, hiding their true strength to avoid confrontation with the arrogant hegemony. Humanity's approach to galactic relations set a new standard. Instead of conquest or domination, they offered cooperation and mutual respect. Their fleet remained deployed not as an occupying force but as peacekeepers, preventing any species from imposing their will on others. In the months that followed, human technologies revolutionized galactic civilization. Zero-point energy solved resource crises. Quantum medical techniques extended lifespans across species. Dimensional engineering opened new frontiers for exploration. But perhaps the most significant change was philosophical. The galaxy learned that true strength lay not in domination, but in the wisdom to use power responsibly. Humanity taught them that the greatest victory was winning without destroying your enemy. As Ambassador Sarah Chen addressed the first truly inclusive Galactic Council, she reflected on the journey that had brought them here. We showed you our strength not to inspire fear, but to earn respect. We revealed our capabilities not to dominate, but to demonstrate that cooperation benefits all. The greatest lesson humanity offers the galaxy is this: true civilization isn't measured by the power to destroy, but by the wisdom to build. The fleet of retribution became the fleet of protection. Its mission transformed from vengeance to guardianship. Human ships patrolled the space lanes, ensuring that no species would again face the humiliation and dismissal that Earth had endured. And across the galaxy, a new saying emerged: never mock the children of Earth, for they master not just technology, but the art of turning weakness into strength, insults into opportunity, and enemies into allies. The hegemony had learned this lesson the hard way. They had mocked humanity, only to discover that humans had been playing a game so sophisticated that the hegemony hadn't even realized they were pieces on the board. In the end, humanity's greatest victory wasn't military or technological. It was proving that patience, strategy, and restraint could triumph over arrogance and brute force. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was exactly what humanity had intended all along.